Russia's strikes on Odesa region will not be ignored. The Ukrainian authorities have promised to respond. Only unlike the Russian troops, the Ukrainian armed forces are not targeting civilians, but exclusively military facilities.
For every strike on Ukraine, there will be a response for the Russians. Demilitarization of Russia is a necessity, as the world should not tolerate a madman with missiles. It makes much more sense to deprive the insane of the ability to use weapons, as well as the weapons themselves. For now, the enemy can still carry out acts of terror, as he did this night in Odessa, but the further away, the more he will lose them. Andriy Yermak, head of the office of the President of Ukraine, in Telegram.
The times when Russia could destroy Ukrainian civilian infrastructure with impunity are long behind us. Experts believe the Ukrainian defense forces are actively destroying Russian military targets. Ukraine uses long-range missiles provided by its allies, Storm Shadow and Scalp, to hit rear facilities. It also uses its own modifications of S-200 missiles and drones, including improved Soviet UAVs, which are capable of hitting targets at a distance of up to 800 kilometers.
At the moment, we are launching some pretty serious strikes on Russian military infrastructure. There are different methods used for this. The first one is pretty simple and cheap. It is strike drones. Drones that we are laying at quite a distance. There have been strikes on the Kursk airfield, on the Saki airfield. A bunch of different strategic sites. It is not just some words. There were aircraft destroyed.
The latest attack on Russian military facilities demonstrate well the capabilities of the Ukrainian armed forces. For example, the Ukrainian defense forces hit the headquarters of the Russian Black Sea Fleet in occupied Sevastopol. According to the statement by Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, 34 officers were killed, including the commander of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, Admiral Viktor Sokolov. And in Russia's Kursk region on September 24th, drones hit a local FSB building and an oil refinery.
Ukraine cannot simply defend itself unilaterally. We must destroy the enemy, destroy his logistics, in particular destroy the headquarters, military administration that the enemy has in different directions. Yuri Ignat, Speaker of the Air Force of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, at the briefing.
Meanwhile, Ukraine is strengthening its air defense. The protection of civilian facilities and infrastructure has increased compared to last year. The Air Force shot down at least 90% of missiles fired by Russia. However, the capabilities are still insignificant to close the entire sky over Ukraine. Experts believe, therefore, the issue of providing new air defense systems and F-16 fighter jets to Kyiv is always a priority in negotiations at any level.
The F-16s that we are going to get are, to some extent, the answer to the lack of air defense systems. So it is medium-range air defense and long-range defense, depending on what missiles they give us. They can replace NASAMS. And when we get these F-16s, we will be able to throw enemy planes and helicopters back 100 kilometers from the front line and move those systems that are covering our troops at the front to other places.
According to analysts, Ukraine is seeking to reduce the threat from Russia and is building up its own military capabilities for this purpose. Thus, Kyiv expects to receive long-range ATACMS missiles from the USA in the near future. Their range is higher than the Storm Shadow or Scalp and reaches 300 kilometers. Moreover, it is more difficult to shut down ATACMS, and for the Russian air defense, it will be almost an unrealistic task, experts say. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Vasyl Panasiuk, UATV News.